My name is JT Parr, and I'm traveling the country to interview geniuses and find out how the world works. After learning about AI and quantum mechanics, I was eager for a new spiritual challenge. I wanted to test wits against someone who could withstand my rapidly growing intellectual powers. I found the perfect sparring partner in Daniele Bolelli, a historian of comparative religion, martial arts expert, and guest on the Joe Rogan Experience. Here's our conversation. Do you mind if I vape?
By all means.
That's chill. That's what's up. I'd like you to give me a 2-minute review of these religious texts. The Bible.
Man, when I was 18, I decided, people talk about it all the time. I should probably know what I'm talking about if I tackle the topic. So I read the whole thing, cover to cover. It was rough. It was definitely rough. The amount of, I wasn't quite ready for the amount of just pretty much biblical porn between like genocide, mass rape. It's trippy because of course it changes radically from one book to the next because clearly it was written by a bunch of different people with different ideas. So the funny thing about it is that you can make it say whatever you want. If somebody says the Bible pro or against slavery, it's like, it's both. I'll find a quote that will support one and I'll find a quote that supports it. So you, at the end of the day, you can take it and make it say pretty much anything you want. And
it's almost like a P. Diddy album.
Most successful religions are open to a ton of opposite interpretations, and that's why they are successful, because you can turn them into whatever is popular at the time, turn them into whatever people want to do with them.
Can I get a 2-minute review of the Quran?
The way it starts out is that Muhammad was very much wanted the Jewish tribes to give him the thumbs up, to say, you are the next prophet, you are the one who's the fulfillment, like your revelation is the fulfillment of all this stuff that we have been saying. And when they didn't, he didn't took it very well. So there's a lot of because a lot of the material in the Quran is based on Jewish scripture, on Christian scripture, but kind of redigested in a way that both Jews and Christians say, that's not what we said at all. And Muhammad's approach was like, well, because you guys are dumbasses and your text got corrupted over time and you missed the point, this is the true revelation. Even like early on, early Muslims prayed toward Jerusalem. That was the sacred city. And then when Jewish tribes were like, we don't like you that much, they're like, forget Jerusalem, it's Mecca, that's where we're going to pray toward.
What about the Tao Te Ching?
It's a book that you can read in 2 hours because it's 81 poems. It's quick, it's like this thin. At the same time, it's the Taoists are funny because they don't bother trying to convince you of anything or to even say, you know, every other religion want to convert you, like come to be one of us. The Taoists are like, they're probably too dumb for us anyway, so how about you just go study Confucianism? Those guys will help you. Don't bother with us. This is...
That's so smart though, right? Just like leave the door open. It's like, hey, if you want to hang, I'll be here.
Less likely to become a #1 world religion, but at the same time, it's probably more real.
So you would put probably Tao Te Ching #1, Quran #2, and Bible #3 so far?
I don't... Yeah, I mean, if we're doing the...
Power rankings.
Yes. I tend to like more Eastern traditions like the Tao Te Ching, like Buddhist writing, because most of it doesn't matter with you. Like, you don't need to believe in them. Whether you believe in them or not is completely secondary. The idea is these are some ideas, take them, run with them, see if they work in your life. If they work, good for you. If they don't, change them, toss them, mix them with something else.
They're not over-promising.
Exactly.
So you're big on yin and yang, correct?
Yeah, I dig the... It's kind of what we've been talking about, right? The fact that rarely answers are found only in one camp. It's usually a balancing act between opposite things in everything. And the balancing act doesn't mean you're always in the middle. It means you are constantly adjusting between opposite forces. So to me, that's how life works.
That tension.
It's like surfing. The skill is figuring out when you need to lean one way, when you need to lean the other, when you need to be in the middle, and constantly adapt depending on the waves.
You have like a taxonomy for warriors.
Oh, yeah.
Are you not fond of that anymore?
Shit, I wrote that when I was, I think when I first wrote that chapter, I wrote it in Italian when I was 22. So let's play with the first two, Samurai and Ninja. I just finished playing, I spent like 3 months playing Ghost of Tsushima, which is the coolest video game ever made. And that's...
Have you played Overwatch?
I haven't played Overwatch.
Pretty sick.
But yeah, no, the Ghost of Tsushima thing is hilarious because what happens is you have this philosophical clash between the samurai way, which the way they present it is very, we fight honorably, which means we'll knock on the door, tell you we're gonna have a fight, we square off, we do everything the honorable way. And the result is that it gets slaughtered by the Mongols. And the other approach, the ninja way, is time out. How about we don't get slaughtered because we fight honorably? How about we stab them while we shake hands? Or how about we do things that are not exactly what you would consider honorable, but they get stuff done? Because the idea is like the time for being honorable is before you fight, is what you do to avoid the fight. Once you're fighting, all honor goes out the window. It's like you just need to win. The Ronin idea is... the Ronin is basically a masterless samurai. So in history, it's something that no samurai wanted because they wanted to be employed and have the money coming in. But it happened that you get your lord dies or something and you find yourself without a job and the only thing you know how to do really well is to kill people with a sword. So you travel the countryside building your reputation as this badass warrior so that somebody will hire you. That's kind of the historical reality. The archetype, the image is being somebody who's masterless, who you're not under any, you're not the employee of anybody, you run your own life, so there's this sense of freedom that's...
No one.
Exactly.
And so then the hermit?
Hermit is more the leave me guys all the fuck alone, but these are people who spend their... It's... In a lot of martial art mythology, there's this story of like, oh, I went off to the mountain, I ran into this Pai Mei-like character who's all brilliant and wise and spend his days communing with nature and happened to be this master badass who's this amazing fighter. Most of it is probably legend, but it's a cool legend. And this speaks to this desire for somebody who has these amazing powers that are found outside of regular civilization.
When I am in balance, I can meet total strangers and know much about their lives before we are even introduced. I look into their eyes and it is like reading an open book. Sometimes it is not even necessary to see. Someone is talking behind me and the tone of their voice is enough to tell me what kind of person am I dealing with. What do you see when you look into my eyes?
Let's play. It's actually weird. There's an undertone of sadness, but I don't know where it comes from.
Now, you've written against the repressive attitudes many religions have towards the human sex drive. To combat that, you argue for a synthesis of the spirit and the body, refusing to accept a split between the mystical and the erotic. With these ideas in mind, are you more of a boobs guy or an ass guy?
Both. While I'm slightly partial to boobs, I say 60-40.
That was one of the most fire responses to that question I could imagine, bro. What do you think is the best martial arts style for practical self-defense?
Probably Muay Thai.
Because there's some grappling involved.
Yeah, exactly.
Left way.
Oh yeah, well, you headbutts too. Yeah, of course. Yeah, agreed. I dig that way.
Thank you.
I have an insanely hard head, so I'm well suited for that.
Give me a headbutt. Ah! One more. More. Why do I love that so much?
I don't know.
Hug me as hard as you can.
Oh! There you go. So you got an underhook here. I can do these and get the takedown.
Nice.
And you know, you drive
really
these
smart.
over and...
Do you shadow box?
Um...
How you with the hands? All right, come on, let's go. The spirit of emptiness is immortal. It is called Great Mother because it gives birth to heaven and earth. It is like a vapor, barely seen but always present. Use it effortlessly. Do you think Lao Tzu would like vaping?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.